Good evening. I am Christina Hines, and my speech is entitled Equal Rights for Women. It was delivered by Honorable Shirley Chisholm of New York in the House of Representatives on May 21st, 1969. She was elected to Congress, where she was an outspoken advocate for women and minorities during 7 terms. Mr. Speaker, when a young woman graduates from college and starts looking for a job, she is likely to have a frustrating and demeaning experience ahead of her. If she walks into an office for an interview, the first question she would be asked is, "Do you type?" There is a calculated system of prejudice that lies unspoken behind that question. Why is it acceptable for women to be secretaries, librarians, and teachers, but totally unacceptable to be managers, administrators, lawyers, doctors, and members of Congress? The unspoken assumption is that women are different. They do not have executive ability, orderly minds, stability, leadership skills, and they are too emotional. It has been observed that society for a long time discriminated against another minority, the blacks, on the same basis that they are different and inferior. There is very little understanding yet as to the immorality involved in double pay scales and the classification of the better jobs for men only. As a black person, I am no stranger to race prejudice. But the truth is that I have been discriminated against because I am a woman than because I am black. Prejudice against blacks is unacceptable, although it will take years to eliminate it. But prejudice against women is still acceptable. Considering that there are 3.5 million more women than men in the United States, this situation is outrageous. It is true that part of the problem has been that women have not been aggressive in demanding their rights. This was also true about the black population for many years. They submitted to oppression and even cooperated with it. But now, there is an awareness of this situation, particularly among the younger segment of the population. As it relates to the equal rights for blacks, Spanish Americans, the Indians, and other groups, laws will not change such deep-seated problems overnight, but it will provide protection for those that are most abused. It is for this reason that I wish to introduce today a proposal that has been before every Congress for the last 40 years, and that sooner or later must be part of the basic law of the land, the Equal Rights Amendment. Let me note and try to refute two of the commonest arguments that has been offered against this amendment. One is that women are already protected under the law and do not need legislation. Existing laws are not adequate to secure equal rights for women. Sufficient proof of this exists in the concentration of women in lower paying, menial, unrewarding jobs, and the incredible level of scarcity in the upper level jobs. If women are already equal, then why is it such an event whenever one is elected into Congress? A second argument that has been heard and offered against the Equal Rights Amendment is that it would eliminate legislation that the states and federal government have enacted in providing special protection for women, and that it will throw the marriage and divorce laws into chaos. As for marriage laws, it is due for a sweeping reform. And regarding special protection for women, I do not understand why it should be needed. Women need no protection that men do not need. What we need is laws to protect working people, to guarantee fair pay, safe working conditions, protection against sickness and layoffs, and provision for dignified, comfortable retirement. Both men and women need these things equally. The idea that one sex needs more protection than the other is a male supremacist myth, as ridiculous and unworthy of respect as a white supremacist myth that society is trying to cure itself from at this time. I thank you.